Hello everyone, this is Ali from Phone Coding, and in this video I'm going to be getting you started with all of the basic HTML tags that you will need to know to get coding. Now, because there are so many HTML tags that you would need to know in total, to keep the videos a bit shorter, I'm going to break it down into two separate videos. So in this first video, I'm going to go over the most basic tags to start your web page. And the next one, I'm going to go over a bit more complex tags. So what you see right now is my code editor, Visual Studio Code open, split screened with a Chrome browser just to see my results. So when you start every HTML document, we're going to go ahead and start by creating a folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm just going to call it basic HTML tags. Go back to our code editor, click open, and go to our desktop and open up the folder. Now you can save it and create the folder wherever you'd like. Now again, this is a default for everything. We'll go ahead and click this icon and create index.html because we are writing HTML. Now to start every HTML document, you're going to want to use this tag here and do the exclamation mark and in all caps doc type space HTML and then close that. So this is how you want to start every single HTML document that you create, and this defines that you are writing HTML. Now the next tag that you're going to need to put in your document is called the head tag. So again, this sharp bracket or whatever you want to call it, and we'll write head. Now we're going to close it, and you see that it automatically creates the closing version. So I'm going to click enter until we have a line or space in between the two tags, the opening and the closing. So now inside of that, we're going to create a title tag. So before I move any further, I just want to point out that the head tag is used for any items or content that does not show up on the page. This could include links to other languages, the title of the document, etc. Now you might be wondering, shouldn't the title of the document be showing up on your web page? So inside of the title, if I write just any title, we'll write basic HTML tags right now, and we'll click go live down here. Now you see that the text didn't show up here, but the title, when you put the title in the head tag, you see that it's the name of the tab up top here. So I'm not going to go too much into linking to style sheets in this video because we're not going to be dealing with any other languages. Now after the closing head tag, let's say we want to put all of our visible elements in our web page. So this is everything we want people to see. So we can start off with a header. So a header is used for title text. Can be used to place any text you'd like. So to do this, we'll again use this, whatever you'd like to call it, and write H1. So this stands for header 1. Again, we'll close it, and it should automatically close for us. If not, do this, add the same thing, just add a slash before. Now in between these two tags here, we go ahead and add any text we want. Right now we're just going to write, so again, it has to be after. So we'll write this is a test. Now if we save it, it will automatically show up here. This is a test as just any regular text. Now when we're dealing with headers, there's actually 6 different types of headers. So we can copy this and paste it 5 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now right now, these are all the exact same thing. But if we change this to H2, change this from H1 to H3, all the way up till 6. So 4, 5, 6. And go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. H2, H3, H4, H5, and lastly H6. So by default you can see that H1 is the biggest, H2 slightly smaller, and they gradually get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now if you've seen any of my previous videos from my full guide to HTML series, you would know that other languages like CSS are used to do the styling. This is just the default for HTML. Now this one is also, the next tag I'm going to be going over is also a pretty basic tag, just to create paragraphs. So generally we'll do the same, this bracket thingy, put P and close it. That's it. Now you can add your paragraph, which will take you some time, or you can generate some dummy text before you add your actual text. So dummy text is that lorem ipsum da 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 stuff. So to do that, on VS Code, all we have to do is type lorem and however much dummy text we want. So let's say we want 10 words. We'll do lorem 10 and click tab, and it'll immediately give us 10 words of dummy text. So I'm just going to format this. And yeah, we have our dummy text. Now you can pick a different number if you'd like. You can choose lorem 40 and it'll give you 40 words of dummy text, so on and so forth. Alright, so the next thing I want, and probably one of the most important HTML elements to know, is the div element. So to do that, we'll again use this and add div. So the div element stands for divider element and is used as a divider and used as a container to store your HTML tags to later use for CSS customization. So inside of this div, to show you more of what I mean, we can go ahead and add a H1, some of the tags we just went over, H1 and maybe a paragraph. Now let's just do lorem 3, and for this again we'll write this is a test. Now the div element doesn't do anything on the page. You can see we have a regular header and a regular paragraph. But in other customizations we can select div and then choose to customize it. So anything inside from this opening div here to this closing div here will get that same customization. So let's say we select the div in CSS to make the color blue. So that means this H1 and paragraph will both become blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a H3 and a H4. I'll explain why in a sec once I go ahead and add this text. This is a test, and I'll just write test for this one. So again, just a regular header 3 and header 4. But then the question comes up, what if I want this to have the customization from this div, but also an extra customization? Now I could add the extra customization to this div, but then it would also customize for this. So then what I can do inside the div, create actually another div. Now this closing tag, I can copy it and paste it over here. Now I have a second div element. So when you have a div inside of a div, it's called the child element. So the outside element is the parent element, and the element inside is the child element. Now this is because the child element will inherit the property from the parent element. So everything inside of this div, this first one here, the parent div, will be blue. So that means everything will be blue. But then just this stuff over here will have an added on customization, maybe a border. But then when we choose to customize div, they're both div. How can you differentiate it? Because code cannot read your mind. So this is when naming comes in. Now you're not actually physically giving it a name, but you're giving it what's called a class. Now, if you'd like to see how to do all of that stuff, I am going to be posting another video. And if you don't want to miss that video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video.